What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing by far the most fun team I've run all season long, and that is a triple XL triple Rock Tomb theme team with Shadow Driller in the lead, Spinder as the safe swap, and previously one of the worst Pokemon that I've ever powered up for the Go Battle League that is suddenly not just usable, but actually insanely fun to run, and that final Pokemon is Kabuto, which got a double buff this season, also having access to Aqua Jet. Now I do wonder if we're going to have another Breaking Swipe Steelix situation where Rock Tomb makes a bunch of completely irrelevant Pokemon so much more fun and viable, but because they've given it to Gradilli, which is just super annoying to play against, they might end up nerfing it next season, which would be a real shame for a lot of these Pokemon that are of course now really fun to use. Anyways, with that being said, let's get into the question of the day. Aside from Grumpig, which is the obvious answer, which other Pokemon has been absolutely transformed this season, going from zero to hero with this move update? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Let's go into the first battle, leading Shadow Driller into Dragonite. So not really great for me. Of course, we do have Rock Tomb, but they're going to outpace me to that charge move. We safe swap into Spinder, and I know this is just going to be a Dragon Claw. However, Dragonite does hit fairly hard, so I'm going to shield that up. They then come in with a Shadow Bastiodon, and suddenly I'm thinking, man, I wish I was just running Dig on my Spinder instead. That would hit for double super effective damage, but oh well, we've got Rock Tomb. I'm going to throw Rock Tomb this time around just because I will reach it. It's going to do ever so slightly more damage in this matchup, but then I realized the opponent committing to a farm down. I can bank a ton of energy, swap back into Drillbur. They are double debuffed. I don't need to shield anything, and they're not going to reach two charge moves because I can go for the Mudslap farm down. That's double super effective damage. We're able to get the snipe there. They come back in with the Dragonite, but I'm already at the Rock Tomb, and of course, Rock Tomb going to debuff their attack. It grabs a shield from the opponent, and we've also got an Icy Wind already loaded on the Spinder, so we fire it off straight away. Spinder, Icy Wind, grabs that final shield. We swap, and the opponent swaps at the same time. They swap into Steelix, but they're on Dragon Tail and not Thunderfang, and that's huge for me. I go for Aqua Jet. That does massive damage. I can now no-shield this. I have to no-shield. They go for Psychic Fangs. They debuff my defense, but Kabuto able to hang in there, able to reach a Rock Tomb. We do lose CMP, but it doesn't matter. We've still got our final shield. Dragon Claw is going to be shielded, and now we can go for the Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb gets the one-shot up against the Dragonite, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's top end there. That was my very first battle with this team, and suddenly I was thinking, you know what, this team is going to be so fun to run. Into next battle, we're going to see a Mew in the lead. So at this point, the opponent doesn't throw on the best timing. I basically just overfarmed a ton there, hoping the opponent would farm up a lot of energy and then throw on poor timing, and they did exactly that. We then swap into Spinder. They go for a wild charge there, so honestly I was expecting Mew to be running Side Shock, but it is an absolute TM nightmare trying to get the moves that you want on Mew, so understandable that they're just running a previously very solid moveset with Surf and Wild Charge. But either way, they come in with a Galarian Stunfisk. I'm going to debuff them there, and that will actually allow me to reach another Icy Wind. So going for the Icy Wind here just before they farm me down, and I'm actually going to swap out of this matchup back into my Drillbur, and we're baiting out a Bomber Snow. Now, Bomber Snow, pretty tricky for this team, but we do have a ton of energy. I can go for back-to-back Rock Tombs. However, unfortunately, by debuffing their attack by 2 stages, I'm actually just giving them extra farm, and now they've got so much energy. I've got to be very wary because not wary, what the hell does that word even mean? We are going to come in with the Kabuto, and despite the fact that they're double debuffed, Energy Ball probably still one-shots us, so we're going to swap, make the catch onto Spinder, and at this point, all we've got to do here is make sure the opponent doesn't catch a Rock Tomb onto Stunfisk. So I overfarm, I wait for the swap there, now we can just fire off the Aqua Jet. Aqua Jet gets the KO, we're 1 away from the Rock Tomb, and of course, Rock Tomb up against the Bomber Snow will easily be enough to take them out there, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG Turbine there, into next battle, we can see Shadow Driller into Emolga. So this is a fairly good matchup for us, of course. We're going to resist the Thundershock damage. Acrobatics is going to hit very hard, so I'm definitely just going to shield, respect the damage from the first charge move. They full send the Acrobatics before swapping into Gradilli. Now, Gradilli, a little bit annoying, but we've got Rock Tomb as well, so we're going to spam these debuffs first. And now, because we've debuffed them, this Rock Tomb really not going to do too much damage at all. And whilst I do have Rock Tomb, I've also got Icy Wind. Icy Wind going to hit for for super effective damage. Might as well just go for the Icy Wind here. This will get the KO or grab a shield from the opponent, and we do take them out. They come back in with the Emolga, but I'm able to reach an Icy Wind, and of course, Icy Wind gonna hit for super effective damage. We are debuffed, but we grab a shield anyways. Now the opponent does overfarm here. If they go for Discharge might not get the KO. It doesn't, so I'm gonna swap back into my Drillbur, and at this point, they are debuffed, but I don't care. I'm gonna shield anyways. The opponent then gonna come in with a Grumpig, so I'm gonna overfarm here, throw on the CMP type with a Dynamic Punch. We go straight for Rock Tomb here. Rock Tomb again gonna debuff their attack. Dynamic Punch still will be enough damage to get the KO from this range, but that's okay. I'm gonna wait out my switch clock here because I'm not certain that an Aqua Jet will get the KO. So we're gonna come in with the Kabuto. I realize it's one turn faster to the second charge move, so I wait one turn there. I then swap, catch the charge move onto my Spinder, and now again, all we've got to do is make sure the opponent doesn't snipe me with a Emolga. I need to make sure I had a charge move loaded as soon as they swapped out. Aqua Jet gets the KO there. One more fast move, and we're at Aqua Jet number 2. And from this range, Aqua Jet gets the KO up against the Grumpig, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG's top there into the next battle to see a Spirit Tomb in the lead. So, another Rock Tomb user. Very cool to see. We're going to stay in this matchup here, and I'm just going to go straight for the Rock Tomb. Of course, Drill Run is a really good move, but I might as well spam these debuffs here. So, we go for the Rock Tomb. I'm then going to swap into my Spinder. I was hoping to catch a Shadow Ball there, but I mean, to be honest, from that range, they probably, even debuffed, could have gone for a Rock Tomb to take out our Drillbur. But either way, we're going to bait out a Blastoise. We're going to go for that Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb is going to debuff their attack. Of course, we're already debuffed, so we didn't do much damage there, but the opponent goes for Hydro Cannon. We're able to just barely hang on there and reach an Icy Wind. Now, unfortunately, Icy Wind is going to be resisted damage. It's debuffed. It really doesn't do much damage. But now this Blastoise, not really going to hit hard at all. So I'm going to no-shield this. They actually go for a Skull Bash, which didn't really make sense. But unfortunately, the opponent swaps out at the exact same time. They're able to not only get the Sucker Punch farm down, but come out with a Rock Tomb loaded. And now we've got no more Pokemon, so I can't clear that debuff. And you're going to see that they've got Galissapod in the back. So Kabuto actually has a pretty good matchup here. But because we're debuffed, I don't think a Rock Tomb will get the one-shot anymore. So at this point, we're going to shield this up. And I'm expecting the opponent to try and make a catch onto their Blastoise. So I overfarm here. And I'm going to farm up as much as possible. But we just don't quite have back-to-back charge moves. Anyways, Aqua Jet gets the KO there. But we were one away from the Rock Tomb. And again, we were debuffed. So I don't think that would have got the KO. And unfortunately, we do lose that game. But GG's top there. Into the next battle, we see a Galarian Weezing in the lead. The opponent safe swaps into Gradilli. At this point, I think I might shield the first charge move just because I will be spamming debuffs here, so might as well shield that first one because it's going to do the most damage. Now we can go for an Icy Wind. Icy Wind also going to be shielded by the opponent, but that's okay. At this point, I'm going to let the next move go through. I should be able to tank 2 more Rock Tombs fairly comfortably now because the next Rock Tomb is going to be double debuffed. We can go for Icy Wind number 2 here. Unfortunately, I am double debuffed as well, so Icy Wind does not do much damage, but that's okay. At this point, Rock Tomb comes through. I'm then going to swap into my Drillbur and go for a Mud Slap farm down there. The opponent realizing they're going to be farmed down, so they're forced to swap out into a Guzzlord. Now we can go for the Rock Tomb there, debuffing their attack. At this point, I'm hoping maybe we can live this, but no, Brutal Swing still gets the KO there. But either way, we're going to come in with the Kabuto. And they will outpace me to the first charge move before I can reach a Rock Tomb and the debuffed, but I think I'm going to shield anyways, just because I can out overfarm massively. The opponent swaps back into Gradilli. I don't want to take the Bullet Seed damage on my Kabuto, so we swap, and we're able to come out with a Rock Tomb for the Weezing coming back in. So Rock Tomb is going to be, of course, no shielded. All shields are down on the opponent's end and on my end. We've got the Rock Tomb loaded. We throw it immediately. Rock Tomb barely doesn't get the KO, however, and that is really unfortunate. The opponent fires off the Brutal Swing. That is debuffed, so it doesn't do too much damage. They come back in with the Guzzlord, but I'm able to reach another Rock Tomb before they can farm me down. Rock Tomb gets the KO up against Guzzlord, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG's top end there. Into the next battle, we see a Talonflame in the lead. So, of course, Kabuto going to have a field day up against Talonflame, but we're going to swap out into our Spinder, our safe swap, and the opponent comes in with a Blastoise. So, we're going straight for Rock Tomb here. Rock Tomb is going to be no-shielded by the opponent. I'm going to no-shield as well as the opponent is going to go straight for Hydro Cannon, and I will just barely reach an Icy Wind before the opponent can go for another charge move. So Icy Wind is resisted, but it grabs a shield advantage, and they don't overfarm by much either, so that's fine with me. They go for a Hydro Cannon. I can actually come in with my Drillbur, go for a Mud Slap farm down, and the opponent's going to come in with a Superior. So this is actually really good to see it here because, of course, Kabuto is really going to struggle up against Superior. We're able to land the Rock Tomb. That does pretty big damage. I'm definitely going to shield this. The opponent is going to go for the Aerial Ace, which is fine. We're going to go for a second Rock Tomb, and I hope the opponent just lets this go through, but Rock Tomb is going to be shielded, but then they swap, they give up switch advantage. They come in with the Talonflame. We can come in with the Kabuto. Fly actually does pretty respectable damage there, which is kind of annoying, but I'm going to go straight for Rock Tomb now. Realistically, Aquajet probably would have got the KO from that range, but Rock Tomb guarantees the KO. We can now just safely shield this up, and despite the fact that these Vine Whips are hitting for double super effective damage, I'm just barely able to reach an Aquajet, and of course, Aquajet will be enough damage to take out Superior, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG's up on there into the next battle, see a Grumpig in the lead. So, unfortunately, they will outpace me to the first charge move, but that's okay. I am going to shield the first move here, and then, again, I'm just going to go straight for Rock Tomb. I might as well debuff their attack. So, we're going to overfarm just a little bit, fire off the Rock Tomb, and then I think I will just be forced to stay in this matchup, but the opponent actually just no-shields anyway, so that's fine with me. They're going to come in with a Shadow Credilli. So, again, going for the Rock Tomb here. Duron does do much more damage, but they actually no-shield that, so a little bit of a surprise there. They then come in with Morpeko, and unfortunately Morpeko, now that my Drillbur is down, is going to be quite problematic to deal with. I'm forced to no-shield this first move here. They go for the Aura Wheel, dealing big damage. I'm going to fire off an Icy Wind, debuff their attack once again, swap into my Kabuto, but there's just not a lot we can do here. Unfortunately, Kabuto losing CMP. I basically need them to no-shield this for some reason. I end up shielding a Psychic Fangs, which is really unfortunate there. I guess I just had to no-shield that. But either way, we go for Aquajet. They will outpace me to the next charge move, but it actually doesn't matter as they can snipe me with the Credilli, go straight for Grass Knot, and we're not even able to farm down Credilli. We get a simultaneous KO there. They still had Morpeko in the back, and unfortunately, we do lose that game. But GG to that opponent there into the next battle. See Ariados in the lead. So I'm going to shield this up. Could be a Trailblaze. The opponent goes for a Mega Horn there, which still would have done a ton of damage. Probably more damage than a Trailblaze in actual fact. But we're now going to go and fire off the Drill Run there. I didn't know what their secondary charge move was, so I wanted to just make sure I got the KO there. Didn't use both shields. We're now going to go for the Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb, of course, going to be shielded by the Talonflame. I'm staying in here just because I can align my Kabuto to the Talonflame. However, I do give them a ton of energy. So at this point, we come in with the Kabuto, and they overfarm. What are they doing? They allow me to reach an Aquajet, and now we can just go straight for Aquajet, grab the final shield. I don't have to shield this. They're debuffed already, and the opponent going to go for the Brave Bird. That actually does quite a lot of damage. They come in with an Ampharos, and we're going to come in with the Spinder. Now I'm going to no-shield the first charge move. They go straight for Trailblaze, boosting up their attack. And I'm not going to throw it immediately just because I realize a Rock Tomb is not going to get the KO from this range. So instead, what we're going to do is overfarm as much as we can here. Go for the Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb should be enough damage now to get the KO. It does take them out. And because the opponent has to commit to a farm down here, I'm able to reach a last-second Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb takes out the Talonflame, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG's up on there into the next battle. See Shadow Drillbur into Dugong. So, not really ideal for me. Gonna save swap into my Spinder, and we're met with a Shadow Kanto Marowak. So, I'm actually able to outpace them to the Icy Wind as they didn't swap out immediately. An Icy Wind gonna debuff their attack there, which means I can actually let this move go through fairly comfortably. Bow Club, not gonna do too much damage there, and unfortunately, they will outpace me to the next charge move, but I realize I might be able to go for a Sucker Punch farm down here, and I'm able to get the farm down, come out with a Rock Tomb loaded. So if they come back in with the Dugong, which they do, of course, Rock Tomb also going to hit for super effective damage there. We can now come in with the Kabuto, and they do outpace me to the charge boost. Of course, Duron going to hit for super effective damage. I'm going to shield. They were debuffed anyway, so it wouldn't quite take us out there. But now I can debuff them a second time, and this is basically going to force the opponent to swap out of this matchup eventually. But no, what am I doing? I swap out. I tried to catch the Drill Run there, and now they can just go for Icy Wind. Icy Wind debuffs my attack, and Shadow Drapion still able to outpace me there, despite being behind on energy. Aqua Tail gets the KO, and unfortunately, I think I've screwed this game up. We're now going to go for an Aqua Jet here. We want to throw just before they reach the next charge move, but actually, I should have overfarmed more than that. As you're going to see, we are going to reach back-to-back, well, very close to back-to-back Aqua Jets, but unfortunately, the opponent already at the charge move, and now they're not debuffed, so it doesn't really matter what they throw here. They can go for the Drill Run. Drill Run will be taking us out, and unfortunately, we do lose that game. But GG's up on there into next battle. See Blastoise in the lead. Now, this actually isn't that bad of a matchup for us because we are resisting the rollout damage. Yes, they will outpace us to these charge moves, but that's okay. I can just shield them up and I'll be fine. We can go for a Rock Tomb here. I'm going to overfarm, go for the Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb should be grabbing a shield from the opponent, and now I'm going to swap into my Spinder. Now, of course, now they're debuffed, it's not going to do too much damage there. I can actually take two of them. They swap into a Grumpig, so I'm going straight for the Icy Wind here, just getting off that debuff as soon as possible. Icy Wind going to be no-shielded by the opponent. The opponent also not really over-farming, going straight for Dynamic Punch, getting the KO up against the Spinder. But that's okay, we can come back in with the Drillbur, and I'm able to go for a full Mud Slap farm down there. Huge for me. And then I realized here, couldn't quite get the farm down, and I didn't want to force a CMP tie either, so we go for the charge move. They come in with a Lapras, and this is going to be absolutely fine. We can go straight for Rock Tomb, grab the final shield, then swap into Kabuto, and of course Kabuto should be able to tank any one charge move. Even, I think, a Hydro Pump, we probably would be able to live this, but what Lapras is running Hydro Pump anyways? I don't think any of them are. We can go straight for Rock Tomb here, and Rock Tomb, super effective damage, takes out the Lapras, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG's top on there into the next battle. See a Steelix in the lead. So, a greatly matchup for me. The opponent is going to swap into a Lapras. So, we're going to respond with our Kabuto. And again, we want to debuff them. So, I'm going to shield the first charge move. It always makes sense if you're planning on going for a debuffing move. And you might want to play out that, like the two shield scenario, for example. Always shield that first move because now, well, I mean, the opponent no shields anyway, so we're able to take them out there. But either way, it just guarantees that matchup, which is very nice. We can go for the Aqua Jet, but unfortunately, this Steelix is on Thunder Fang, and they're able to go for a full farm down just before we reach Aqua Jet number 2. But that's okay. We come in with a Drillbur, gonna no shield, just a Psychic Fangs, and then they swap into a Dusknoir. So we're gonna come in with the Spinder. Of course, they could be on Dynamic Punch. They should be on a Dynamic Punch, and they full send it. So we're going to shield that up. We're going to fire off the Icy Wind just before they reach Dynamic Punch number 2. And this should actually allow me now, because they're on Hex, Hex has no fast move pressure at all. I should be able to live this and go for a Sucker Punch farm down and reach a last second Icy Wind as well. So of course, Icy Wind is going to debuff their attack. They let that go through there. Of course, they've got no shields in play anyways. And because we've debuffed them, Psychic Fangs does not get the KO. And just for the sake of it, I'm going for a double resisted BM with the Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb gets the KO up against the Steelix, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG's top on there into the next battle. See a Jumpluff in the lead. So, this is a really tricky matchup for me. I'm kind of just forced to stay in here. Of course, Spinder going to have a great matchup with Icy Wind. But I'm going to shield once, go for a Rock Tomb, and then I think I will just let the next move go through. They actually bait me with an Aerial Ace, which is really unfortunate there. But we're going to go for the Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb going to be shielded by the opponent. At this point, I'm kind of just having to let this move go through. The opponent does go for the Energy Ball this time around. They're debuffed, but that still gets the KO. But that's okay. We're going to come in with the Spinder, and unfortunately, they do just barely outpace me to this next charge move. The opponent goes for another Energy Ball, which still does quite a lot of damage there. We're going to overfarm, fire off the Icy Wind here before they reach an Aerial Ace. Icy Wind gets the one shot, but they've got Annihilate in the back, and unfortunately, with my only Pokemon that takes neutral damage from fighting already down, this is already looking like game over. We're going to swap into Kabuto, and my only win condition is shielding this, and then hoping for whatever reason the opponent does not respect the damage from an Aqua Jet. So we go straight for Aqua Jet here. Aqua Jet is going to be shielded. And just like that, it's game over. The opponent reaches a second Rage Fist. Rage Fist will be enough damage to take us out. They can just go for a counter farm down up against the Spinder. And unfortunately, we do lose that game. But GG's up on there into the next battle. See a Dunsparce in the lead. So this is a good matchup for the Drillbur. But again, because I'm going to debuff their attack. I'm actually going to shield the first charge move just because if the opponent wants to shield there, then I'd end up shielding anyways. So might as well shield the first move. They actually swap into a Drift Blim. I'm able to go for the Rock Tomb, then come in with the Spinder, and we absolutely shut them down here with Spinder. The opponent fires off the Icy Wind, debuffing my attack. So at this point, I don't think an Icy Wind will quite take them out. So might as well go for the Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb takes out the Drift Blim there. They come back in with the Dunsparce, and they will outpace me to the charge move, but a Drill Run shouldn't be enough damage to get the KO here. So now, gonna go and commit to the Rock Tomb once again. Rock Tomb will get them fairly low, and again, I'm gonna swap into my Drill, but the opponent actually swaps at the same time, coming in with the Wigglytuff. That's okay with me. We can fire off the Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb gonna grab the final shield from the opponent, and at this point, things are looking pretty good for me. We're going to wait out the switch shot, come in with the Kabuto, and all I've got to do here is farm up to back-to-back Aqua Jets, and I should have this game won. The opponent does debuff me with an Icy Wind, but it doesn't really matter. We're at back-to-back Aqua Jets. From this range, it should be enough damage to take out the Wigglytuff, and then we've got a second Aqua Jet loaded for the Dunsparce coming back in. Aqua Jet number 2 takes out the Dunsparce, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG's top there into the next battle. We see Drillbur into Malamar. So, they will be able to outpace me to a charge move as well in this matchup. So, we are going to shield the first charge move most likely, then fire off a Rock Tomb, and no, never mind. The opponent's actually going to swap into a Diggersby, so I'm going straight for Drill Run this time around. Drill Run does huge damage there. We can now swap into our Spinder. I tried to catch a Fire Punch there just because I was in range where Fire Punch probably would take us out there, but the opponent goes for Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands actually does quite a lot of damage, and I would not be able to tank another one, so we go for the Icy Wind immediately. The opponent comes back in with the Malamar, and they are going to fire off a charge move just before I reach a second Icy Wind. They actually full send the superpower there, which is quite interesting. So at this point, I was going to come in with the Kabuto, and never mind, I'm still going to come in with the Kabuto, but unfortunately, they've got Credilli in the back, and yikes, this is just not looking too good for us. We can go for the Rock Tomb. They actually no-shield that, and now suddenly, we've got a win condition here, potentially, if I'm able to shield this up and then commit to a full Mud Slap farm down, and we are able to get that farm down, but maybe this is a mistake. I go for Rock Tomb here. Rock Tomb going to debuff their attack, but I'm not able to reach a second charge move, and I guess it doesn't really matter in the end anyways, because they're going to come out with a superpower loaded. Superpower, even debuffed, still gets the one shot, and unfortunately, we do lose that game. But GG's up in there into the next battle. We see a Shadow Dusknoir in the lead. So we're going to stay in this matchup initially, shield the first charge move, and then I might actually just swap out into my Spinder at this point. Yeah, no point throwing my energy here. Instead, we swap into Spinder. The opponent does reach a charge move, but they're on Astonish, so not quite as fast energy generation. I know it's just a Shadow Punch there. We can no shield that. The opponent's going to come in with a Mandibuzz, so I'm going to go for the Rock Tomb first, just because I don't expect them to shield the first charge move. Rock Tomb does respectable damage there. They're also on Air Slash, so that makes this matchup a little bit easier for me just because they don't spam charge moves quite as fast. I'm now going to go for an Icy Wind as the opponent catches onto a Whiscash. So actually, pretty good that they catch an Icy Wind there. We're now going to come in with the Shadow Drillbur. I do overfarm just a little bit, which is kind of a mistake, but it doesn't really matter. I can shield up the Mud Bomb. Now I can farm up 2 back-to-back Drill Runs. First Drill Run is going to be shielded by the opponent. I realized they're probably just going to double shield, so I might as well go for a Rock Tomb this time around. Debuff their attack here. The opponent does shield, and because we go for Rock Tomb, they can't commit to a full Mud Shot farm down, which means they're forced to throw. They go for the Mud Bomb there. Absolutely fine with me. I'm going to come in with my Spinder just because we do take super effective damage from the Mud Bombs, but we're able to reach an Icy Wind anyways. Icy Wind will be enough damage to take out the Whiscash. I can now just swap into my Kabuto, and this game is absolutely over. We can go straight for the Rock Tomb here. Looks like a CMP tie as well, and Rock Tomb, of course, gonna be getting the KO up against the Mandibuzz, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG's top end there into the final battle of this video, leading into Morpeko. A great lead matchup for me, and the opponent choosing to stay in this matchup here. I'm just going to no-shield this. If they go for a Seed Bomb, then fair play, but they don't. It's just a Psychic Fangs. I can no-shield that, go for the farm down. They come in with their own Mud Slapper in a Kanto Marowak. We're going to go for the Rock Tomb once again, grabbing a shield from the opponent, which is very nice. Now we can come in with the Spinder. I don't need to shield the first charge move. However, they do have quite a lot of energy, so I probably will shield one of these moves. The opponent goes for Bone Club there, but then they actually swap into a Toxapex, so that's fine with me. We are going to come in with a Kabuto, and I kind of go against what I've I've been saying throughout the entire video. I don't shield that first charge move, but it doesn't really matter too much here. We're going to go for the Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb is going to do some decent damage. It debuffs their attack there. And now at this point, I'm going to shield this up, and then I'm just going to overfarm massively. As I realize the opponent is going to have a charge move loaded on their Marowak, but if we've got an Archer Jet loaded on our Kabuto, then things should be fine. We go for the Archer Jet, we then snipe with the Spinder, we come out with an Icy Wind loaded, and this game is now absolutely over. Icy Wind grabs the final shield, we've got the Archer Jet on the Kabuto, so I'm not even going to bother shielding my Spinder. The opponent goes for a Bone Club, but they're debuffed, so I'm actually able to reach another Icy Wind before they can farm me down. An Icy Wind, number 2, gets the KO. We didn't even need the Archer Jet on the Kabuto, and I'm able to take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And if you want to take your support even further, you can now become a channel member with perks including early access to new videos, shoutouts at the end of each video, custom loyalty badges, and custom emojis to use in the comments. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has already become a channel member. Your support is greatly appreciated, and with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.